The video for the water harvesting for the 2015 permaculture design course for Phoenix. This is the about 5-acre property that we're going to be looking at water harvesting on. And I'm just going to walk the property and talk as I walk my observations. So first of all, there are two large structures on the property. One's a school and one's a church sanctuary. And you'll notice on the side of both of them there is a significant amount of downspouts. All of that water travels from the north across the property. So this is north right now, across the property to the southwest corner. We're going to get there in a little while. And you'll notice that there's a slope. We're sloping up here. At the end of the slope here, there's a street, and the water, interestingly enough, is sequestered to the street. It's not run off onto the property. I'll show you that here in a minute. There's the downspouts again. There's one curious downspout up here. With maybe rust on it. I don't know, I was just curious the color of the concrete where the water is running off. There we go. All right, I'm standing on a high point. I'm going to be on the high point here in a minute of the entire property. So here's the street with a curb. And generally speaking, the curb is high enough not to have the water run off of the street. The way the water is set up, it runs down that way. That's a significant downslope. This is the front of the property. And where I'm walking to right now, I'm walking to the top end of the property. Back way in the distance, you can see the beginnings of the property where we're going to be working on for our course project. And this is the sanctuary with also the downspouts. This is one curious thing here that I noticed. This is the high end of the property, and it's designed to run the water not to the property but down the street here and down the street here with a significant concrete berm here so that the water doesn't come on the property here. And you'll notice a downslope. So we're now heading south. I'm guessing this property is about 5 acres. We got 5 acres of water collection space. This is a curious piece. You'll notice in the roadway ahead of us there's a little dip. And what we have here is a gully. Let me walk over so you can see it. This is a gully that washes water from the neighborhood into the space. So you can see how the water runs across. And interestingly enough, what they did is they put a little hump in the road down there so that the water doesn't go down the road, but it cuts across the property here. You can see the water cuts in the, hello, you can see the water cuts in the roadway, and you'll be able to see the water, how it runs. Right, let me see if I can get this in here. I'm going to use my finger. I'm getting the shade. The water runs right here. That's the way the water runs onto the through the property. So here's where it's coming on the property back behind me. There's the gully back over in here. It runs this way. There's a hump over here on this side. So it's a natural, or not a natural, it's a man-made built hump, so that the water comes this way, actually follows this line right here. It's a line of dirt, and it follows right here across the property. So this property is made up of, on the north half, these two buildings, this building here and the school back behind it. That's the school back behind it, and a lot of paved area. And then on this side, the south half, is a great big dirt lot. So this property is collecting 5 acres of water plus whatever water comes down that gully. I'm gonna walk. Basically, I'm just walking down the water path, and notice the gravel. This gravel is because the top dirt has been washed away, and what got left behind is just this this line of gravel. There's another curious thing. So one of the things to look for when you're watching for this kind of stuff, water runoff, see how it's gullied right here? That's water running down and past it, and it's undercutting. Eventually it's going to undercut the pavement here. So it's maybe something that we want to address. But another thing, so the water is running this way, and you'll notice on the dark pavement, we've got this gravel. And this gravel is being washed from, most likely being washed up this way. This is where the bigger gravel was left behind. So the lighter stuff gets washed this way, and the water's running this way. And it's kind of accumulating here and settling in this area right here, because this is the low point before it runs up and over into this retention basin right here. And you can tell by the retention basin that this is getting quite a bit of water. According to Kari, our connection on this project, this retention basin will actually fill up with water, like 6 inches to a foot of water. So, and this is fairly flat. This is fairly flat. And I'm walking down to the bottom end of the property. So this is a basin here in the middle. This is a basin here in the middle. So this is likely, where I'm standing right now, this is likely pretty close to the low point. So this is where this is where all the water accumulates. So I'm standing pretty much at the low point of this property. Now, what happens to the water when this fills up? One of the things I noticed, and I want to point this out, I'm going to walk over here. By the way, the ground underneath my feet is pretty pliable, so like there's a lot of mulch and stuff that's built up there. You'll notice that there's kind of a little gully way here. This is where this is a little bit higher than short end of the basin. By the way, we have a mesquite growing here. And what I noticed over in this area is that we actually have some water running. Not right at this moment, but this is water, and you'll notice the undercutting here, the larger rocks, and then back over here. Let me see if I can get it over here. Back over here, you can see where the water's undercutting this a little bit. There's not a ton of water running through here, but there's enough that it's moving some soil. Eventually, it's going to undercut this fence. The other curious thing is the mesquite tree, and over, you can't really see it, but toward the end of this, down toward the end of it, let me see if I can. Yeah, my fingers are too big. Toward the end, there's a wash, so this water is all running eventually to a wash back there in the back. All right, there's a quick survey of how water runs across this property.